Greetings, beautiful people. So in this video I'm going to talk about basically, you know, when you watch a video, and I've spoke about this in my other videos, I talk about tuning into the video. You know, when you talk to somebody, you want to be as present as possible with somebody. Okay, so here's the thing, there's a problem with empaths. Empaths feel everything from other people and whatnot, but it only becomes a problem if they don't know how to just look at it as an observer and not absorbing. You know what I mean? And we all have this ability. Okay? See, everybody's an energetic portal, if you really want to look at it that way, whether we're doing it consciously or unconsciously. Okay? Now people ask me, Zigzag, how do you know what you know? See, here's the thing. I started to realize that I can literally have an energetic connection with people, and I can tap in to what other people know. Okay? Now, see, this is not imposing on anybody's free will, because people do this where they literally consent to you being in their energetic space. Alright? And now, this is where the whole thing with great power comes great responsibility and whatnot. See, understand this. It doesn't matter what you decide to do with it. All things, alright, you can do whatever, but are all things permissible? Because at the end of the day, man, you still gotta face whatever decisions, actions, and choices you take. Everybody, when I say everybody outside of you is an extension of you, this is how the whole concept of karma and all this comes in. You see, the problem is that here we don't realize none of that shit because we're here literally bound by time. Okay? So let's say, for example, you were to die. Okay? It is important to know and be self-aware of who and what you are. Because let's say, for example, if you die and you have no idea of what's going on, okay? One, you're not going to be comfortable with the fact that you're dead. You know what I mean? Realize that you've transformed. And two, everything that you have done to people outside of you, you will experience it all in one shot, because there's no concept of time. Okay? See, everything will come to you in one quick bang. Okay? Now, there's proof of this, because do you notice how you can tap into people because you do it unconsciously? Notice how when you think of somebody, all of a sudden you get a phone call from that person. You're like, oh shit, I was just thinking of you. You know, you just gave me a phone call. Okay? You may have a thought about them, and they might be speaking to you. Even if it's not right away, it could be weeks or months later, but you manifested it because you had a thought about them. And you might have a deep energetic connection to that person later on. Alright, now, along with the fact that you can tap into people energetically, meaning that you can tap in to knowledge that they may know, okay? See, it is up to you to make sure that you know this, that you're giving something back, alright? Because if not, you're unconsciously being a parasite. And people are parasites or vampires unconsciously. See, there's a lot of people who like to vomit their problems, or, you know, try to get attention from people and not realize that they're robbing the other person of energy. The other person may go home all fucked up and tired, and they may not realize what the hell's going on. Alright? So it's awareness and consciousness that's going to benefit both parties. Okay? Because it takes two to tango, and it's a party. Alright? Now, the whole thing is that there has to be a transaction that's not going to drain the other one down. Now, here's the thing too. Alright, if you are knowledgeable, let's say, is because you acquired all this knowledge. And see, once you're not living the lifestyle or applying that knowledge to your life, it could be detrimental as well. Because knowledge is power, but it could also backfire and destroy you. And it will fuck you up. Alright, because now you're aware of what you have learned. And the problem is that now that you're aware, it's literally consent to a lot of things that you didn't realize that you're consenting to. And the fact that you're aware of it and you're not living up to those expectations, you're consenting to still destroying certain things about what your belief systems are now. Okay? Knowledge, you form a belief system behind it. You better live to that lifestyle, and especially if you're preaching that lifestyle, you better be living that lifestyle, because if not, it will fuck you up. You'll wake up all tired, confused, stressed out. You'll feel all fucking washed up. It's because you're getting energetically attacked, especially the moments where you're most unconscious, which is when you're sleeping, when you should be most conscious. But why don't you have energy while you sleep? Is because, you see, you use your energies so unwisely in this third realm that by the time you go kick back, you need to really disconnect, to really reset, which is rest and reset. All right? But during that process, you're in an unconscious state. All right? You see, we have emotional bodies. How much emotions do you put into things through the day and stuff like that? And, you know, where's your consciousness? Why do you think they say, oh, your consciousness, you know, when you do certain things, everybody's consciousness is always in the root chakra. So this is about as physical as it gets when it's in the root chakra. Okay? But not to say that this is, you know, this, everything's vibrating low when it comes to, you know, being solid. But who is to say that this is the bad realm? You know what I mean? In actuality, why do you think so many energies fight to be here? Maybe this is the realm to be able to transmute things, so that when you get to the upper realms, if you want to call them the upper realms, because I look at it as your body is more horizontal than vertical, and you should be mainly in your heart space, which is your middle point. Here is where you can do all the transmuting, so when you do go into your real state, if you want to call it that, you're actually in the state that your mentality is at. But it's a very, very big challenge, because you need to transmute all these things through all the challenges that you face here and all the stuff that everybody has a strong belief in. See, to be truly ascended, okay, you need to transform everything from here. You can't do it anywhere else. Why do you think certain spirits and energies, or whatever you want to call it, demons, because they're all energies, signatures and whatnot, that you could tap into the same way you could tap into people here, only you're doing it here in a physical form? All right? If you want to tap into an energy signature of a person who's super enlightened, you can. And you can see what they know. If your first eye is open, you can see what they know. You can sense what they know. Okay? But you're going to also sense the unfavorable things that they're going through. And this is where you get fucked up if you're not aware. And now, the interesting thing here is that this is where the whole concept of empath come in. And an empath is, you know, they're able to feel everybody's emotions and get all fucked up about it and everything. See, the knowledge is power, but knowledge needs to be applied and know how to be applied and used to empower others. Because when you empower others, you're empowering yourself. It sounds cliche, but it's actually fact. Okay? Now, if you are activating yourself because you've been activated by somebody else, because you were able to tune in and then you could tap in, because everything's about tuning in. See, the reason people judge others is because they're not properly tuned in. This is why they judge videos about shit that's said and whatnot. It's because they're not properly tuned in. But if you tune in properly, then you can tap in. And when you tap in, now you need to be very responsible with what's going on. Because if you're not, it will either fuck you up, and all it's gonna be is really you fucking you up if you're not really tapped in, because you'll end up judging the person, which you'll end up fucking yourself up with that too. But if you're not really tapped in carefully also, because you are now energetically absorbing, and you don't realize that you should be observing, but you may be absorbing the other person's unfavorable aspects, stuff that they need to work through as well. See, this is what activating each other means. Because I can activate somebody by looking at their unfavorable traits. It's kind of like this. Like if I'm losing weight, and somebody's like, yo, you lost weight, you look good. And you're like, really? I don't feel like it. I still feel fat. right? But they don't see you all the time. You see yourself all the time. Somebody else could always see something about you better than you could see it yourself. All right? So make sure you're responsible with what you can do, because another thing is that you can also see somebody else's thoughts. Okay? They're intense. It's not even like you can see it. You can kind of like, you sense it, and it's a hard thing to explain. But with you knowing that, what are you going to do? You're going to react accordingly now because you're like, oh, you know? No, you don't do that. Because then you're coming off your God space. You're coming off your empowered state because you're thinking like a human. Okay? Now, if you knew your power, none of that shit should affect you, because you know that you are the ultimate source and you can change things. You know what's funny? I look at wrestling. Do you know how in wrestling you have a certain character that may have been a jobber at one point, and then all of a sudden they go and they work on themselves physically, because of course everything's physical when it comes to the physical realm, and then they look good, they portray a certain character now, and then all of a sudden now they're given a role of empowerment, and then now they have the winning spot. Do you notice how sometimes that character may have that winning spot? People perceive him now a certain way, but what they used to be, people don't even remember that anymore. All right? So it's pretty important to know that it's basically, that means that you can literally change the past by making sure you work on yourself in the now to impact what, because you're never, you see, you're in your now. But if I say I'm in my now, technically I'm still in my past, because as time moves, I'm still only saying now. So it's constantly about working in your now to keep impacting what's going on in the future, which is still now. Right? But when that happens, you can kind of impact the perception of what you used to be. So, see, you work on yourself. You put yourself in the position of power, and you will be perceived as such. But see, here's the thing. The attention you may get, it's not about how, you see, you're going to get this attention, this attention can literally weigh you down, because now you have a responsibility to stay up to par with this image that you have. You need to keep performing at this level. See, the wrestler, for example, who was at this level for whatnot, he was a jobber, and then he worked on himself, but now he has to maintain that level, and it's actually harder now to maintain that level. Which is why when you have a lot of money, people think like, oh yeah, they have no problem. No, you gotta now work harder, because you got a lot more on your plate to try to maintain that status of power. When you see, simplicity is the biggest form of sophistication. And when you look at the word sophisticated means enlightened, knowing. All right? Empowerment. Sophisticated. Matter of fact, I'm curious. I want to look at this word up now. Right? So if you look at the word sophisticated, all right? Let's look up the word sophisticated real quick. All right? Sophisticated. Having a revealing or proceeding from a great deal of worldly experience and knowledge of fashion and culture. Now check this out. Worldly, world-wise, experienced, enlightened, cosmopolitan, knowledgeable. Alright? Now if you want to look at the second meaning of it, of a machine, system, or technique developed to a high degree of complexity. Highly sophisticated computers, advanced, highly developed, innovative, trailblazing, revolutionary. I mean, you see what I'm saying? So sometimes sophisticated is the way to be. Okay? Simplicity is the biggest, best form of sophistication. Simplicity. Alright? Now, there's a lot more on your plate when you got a lot of responsibilities, because you got to respond to different things a lot more, which is taking you out of your own space to respond to these worldly things. Okay, so what it really is abundance, you know what I mean? I don't knock anybody who has big goals or anything like that, because that's really what it's about. You should have big goals and whatnot, but just think about this, all right? If you were to tap in and require those big goals, how do you use those big goals, you know, that you have acquired to your advantage, okay, to literally make this world a better place? All right, because you could tap into those things, but if you're not balanced, the same way like I spoke about in my chakra videos, all right, you can literally lose yourself. And this is what really happens. Okay, so in actuality, right, if you do tap in to the collective, you would see the basic thoughts that are going through people's heads. Like, what do you do with this? You know, what do you do? You can't, yeah, honestly, you can't save the world anyway, you know. You have to, this is why being the change you want to see, be the change you want to see, is very important. Okay, see, a lot of people will even make videos to acquire popularity, to acquire a lot of things, okay, but in reality it really comes down to just being happy with what you're doing. And it may be simplicity, it may be simple, but find what it is that you like to do. And it doesn't matter if you have $1 million or not. See, if you had it, it's good, because what would you do with it though? Generational wealth, maybe empowering others by traveling to different places. But don't forget, with the knowledge you acquire, if you're not applying it to yourself, you're going to wake up very tired and you ain't going to be motivated to do anything. Because you will be tested. You will be, your fortitude, okay, everything will be tested. And if you fail, you're just going to sabotage everything. This is how it works, okay? Check and test your energy levels, all right? What are you consenting to? Once you know things, what do you consent to? Because knowledge is very, very important. It is power. But with great power comes great responsibilities. Mark my word on that. And if you know, there may be a situation in time, law of attraction may work on your favor. Alright? But if you mentally ain't ready for it, you'll see a sabotage right before your face. Alright? Sometimes things fall off in your life for bigger things to come in. Realize those opportunities. Some people don't. They're still in their ego space and they want to see things in a different way, thinking like a human, and this is what fucks you up. It is in my best interest to activate others. And it should be in your best interest to try to activate others as well. Activate me. I welcome all and any comments that are coming my way. Alright? All I know is I know what energetically I am attracting to me and what I energetically am keeping away from me. Okay? So we'll talk soon. Like, share, and subscribe.